Hey guys, so I was just sitting out here doing some thinking about like what is happening and what am I doing here. And a lot of people don't know this, but I just got back from living in Costa Rica, and actually directly after that I went to living and working on a cruise ship. And then like right before Christmas, I got off and came back to Florida, and then we ended up in COVID. So now I am out of COVID and the world is getting back together, and I am about to jump and try sailing. I sailed a little bit when I was younger. I used to go to camp and I would sail. But as far as on these really, really, really big boats that are, you know, beautiful, but also seriously dangerous and can be, there's ropes and rigs and there's just a lot going on, and there's not a lot of room for error. But I'm looking back and I'm thinking to myself, I'm not nervous. I'm actually really excited. And why is that? 3 years ago now, I jumped on a plane and moved to Costa Rica, and everyone thought I was like crazy, and this is kind of, aren't you scared? Aren't you nervous? And honestly, I wasn't fearful at all. I got to break through so many boundaries. I had a little bit of a fear of heights. I ended up paragliding and it was awesome. I had, a fear of being in another country by myself, and it turned out to be fantastic. I had a fear of I don't want to say riding a motorcycle, but I was definitely not comfortable. It was one of the things that I wanted to become much better at. And part of it was because I wanted to push my boundaries. I wanted to push myself. I wanted to not live in fear anymore. We have a bubble wrap mentality, and we wrap ourselves and our kids in bubble wrap. And some people don't. And there's a lot of friends that I have that are a lot more extreme, and they do even crazier stuff, and they promote for their kids to do it. And I've trained in martial arts, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and I love it, and I think everyone should do it. Quite honestly, I just saw someone post that we shouldn't have UFC, and I think that that's just not a good idea. I think that you become trained, you become skilled, and if you would like to do hand-to-hand combat to kind of do you, and maybe you make money at it, maybe that's how you earn your living. Ninja Turtles. And he wants me to juggle. And you can't live in fear, and sometimes the only way to get out of the fear is to challenge it and say, I'm gonna ride this motorcycle, I'm gonna be completely present, I'm gonna be aware, I'm gonna be smart and on top of my game, and I'm gonna be more defensive than normal, but I'm going to do this, and I'm going to overcome this fear. And I remember the first time my dad had me on a motorcycle, it was crazy. I hadn't ridden before, not even sure if I had a license at the time, a motorcycle license. And I remember him like sending me up the street. He's like, oh yeah, you can do this, you know how to shift? I'm like, no. He's like, you do this and you do this. And I'm like, all right. So I go up the street and I come back, and it's a real motorcycle. Like if it goes down, you get hurt. It was not, my dad, he's old school, so he just does things. And yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's great. But at the end of the day, my sister's a complete adrenaline junkie, and yeah. Someone open that. And my sister, I joke with her, I'm like, if you can't almost die, she doesn't want to do it. And I say that jokingly, but in reality, like, she has adrenaline junkie mentality, and she loves it all, and she does not want to have bubble wrap kids. She wants them to go out and experience life and live the thrill. A lot of those fears are just in your head. They're man-made. People have been doing them forever. It's not everything is for everything, but I wanted air, land, and sea adventures. And the land for me was the motorcycle and the quad runners and the waterfalls and the hiking and driving fast cars. I have had the last 2 or 3 people I've worked for have had Ferraris or super fast stuff, like cars that most people put on their vision boards. This is what they own, and we drive around in. But the point is that, you're here to overcome your fears and live a better life. And so many of us, and I was included in that, and I still am, like, I'm about to jump on this boat and be part of the team that gets the work done and gets it from point A to point B. And I'm super excited. Like, I'm so glad that the team that I'm going with is amazing coaches, and they've been doing this for a long time, captains and experts, and you know, you can't have a lot of people on there, so everyone has to pull their weight, and I'm, you know, bringing gloves and bringing rain gear that is for rain gear, and, you know, I'm wearing shoes around the boat because it's so easy to stub your toe. There's so many things. There's cleats, and there's ropes, and there's this thing that's, I don't know, 50 feet tall. I don't even know. Like, this is all so new. Even the terminology, go to the port side, go to the starboard side. I learned a little bit of it on the cruise ship, but I never was able to like be the one doing it. And so there's so much goes into this that I'm excited to share with you the journey, and to share with you the terms, and to help let you know about this. But this is what these things do. Cross the ocean. You know, this is what boats do. Boats have been around longer than cars. You guys are all trusting cars. Longer than planes. Y'all get in a plane, but yet you're a little intimidated by being out in the ocean. Yeah, you should be intimidated by the ocean. You should be intimidated about all the elements and nature and fire and all of it. It needs to be respected. And I think that's the way that I go about life, is respecting a lot of things and not living in fear, and maybe getting to the bottom of it. You know, I put myself in positions where I thought to myself, what am I doing? But I eliminated negative voices, and I focused on the positive, and I made my mind and said, that's what I want to do. And it comes with a saying that I said back when I was in Costa Rica, and it was "por qué no?" And it's not even the right saying, so they all made fun of me, but they loved it, because anytime someone said, let's do this or let's do that, and these are locals or people from other countries, which are a lot more intense than we are. They make, you know, us look, we need more adventure, all of us. But I would say, "por qué no?" And they would say, "Austin, let's go do this." And I'm like, "por qué no?" And I would go, and I would come up with a no, and I would ask 3 or 4 questions, and I would ask responsible people that have been doing this for years. I'd say, where is this dangerous? This is how you get hurt. You get hurt by getting your foot strapped in a line and ripped off the side of the boat. Yeah, it's real. Pay attention. Do your shift. Do what you're supposed to do. Be responsible. Have respect. You know, don't be in fear. It's going to be an amazing experience. You're going to have an amazing time, and you're going to learn so much, is what I'm being told. And I'm so excited. But living in fear, like, guys, some people are afraid to go and try for a new job. Some people are afraid to we'll talk about your dreams and your passions in probably another video, but I'm so excited. And for Costa Rica, I didn't share a lot with you guys, because it was a personal journey, and I was amazed at how it all worked out. And that's what I want to tell you guys, is that you have to trust that it's always going to work out. And right now I'm putting myself in a position that this is the kind of situation where you have to live. I have a choice. I can do X, or I can prep to go on this trip, which is probably not an income producing activity. I mean, maybe it is. I'll probably get some coaching throughout the experience done. I hope you guys can follow me on my journey. It excites me to share with you guys. If only one of you are interested, then I'll probably just call you and coach you and explain to you how to get through these adventures. You know, I use my 4-part system for every part of my life, for people that ask me about questions, and that's how I coach you, is on a 4-part system. It's super simple. It's not rocket science, but a lot of it is about surrounding yourself with the right people. And I've been blessed to surround myself with wisdom, with knowledge. I'm a learner, so this, to me, I'm already learning knots. And you know, the importance of a knot, which I'll explain to you in a second, is about making sure you can get it undone and not have to cut your rope every time you go somewhere. So there's ways to tie knots that can hold the boat 40,000 pounds and also not get stuck so tight that you can't get it off. So anyways, I'm super excited. Join me on my adventure. Give me a thumbs up. Facebook regulates me, I believe, so it gives me more algorithm. More people will see it. You'll see other posts of mine if you start liking my stuff. I'm excited. So let me know if you're interested, or if you watch this far, or how far along you get in most videos. I'd love to know what you'd like to know. Would you like to know about coaching? Would you like to know about my travels? Would you like to know about what goes on in this crazy head? I want to keep these under a certain time. This one's going to be under 10 minutes. It's kind of my first one, and I'm getting ready to jump on a boat. I think it's a 10-day voyage. Bye.